Previously, we discussed global hooks using setWindows hook function, and we know that this technique is quite limited because it is only related to GUI-based applications. So if you are targeting any process that is not GUI-based, like PC for example, this technique will not work, and we need to find something else. And this something else is actually AppInit DLLs. If you have taken Red Team Operator Windows Persistence course, this technique was also discussed in the case of using persistence. But if you haven't taken that course, don't worry, because now we are going to cover it. So let's start with a debugger, and I will be using notepad.exe to show you how this AppInit DLL mechanism works. Okay, so let's go to symbols and let's search for user32.dll and load up init DLLs. So as you can see, this function is important from kernel 32. Okay, so let me set up a breakpoint here, restart the notepad to see when this breakpoint is hit. So we reached the system breakpoint, so let's run it, and we hit our load app init DLLs function before the entry point of the executable. So what this function is doing, it is actually querying registry for specific keys or values actually, and to check if additional DLLs should be loaded into the process. So let me set up breakpoint here and run it. And the first parameter of regopen key exw function is the key name, the main key, and this value is actually pointing to means that we are dealing with a local machine key, and the sub key is passed as a second parameter of that function, so it's in RDX. So let's follow in dump and let's see, it is software Microsoft Windows NT current version Windows. So this is actually the key this function is trying to query. Okay, and then there is some kind of value being read after the key is opened. So let me set up breakpoint here as well and hit F9. And now regGetValue function takes several parameters. The first parameter holds the key which was opened with a regopen key ex function. The second parameter is the sub key, if it's necessary, but this parameter is optional, so the value is 0. And the third parameter is actually containing a string of the value we want to get. So let's find out what it is, and we see load app init DLLs value. Okay, string. So in other words, now we are trying to get what is stored in this value in registry key. So let's hit F8, and we have several tests here. So this one tests if the reading of the value was successful. The RAX register is 0, so it means yes, we were able to query that value. And now we have some, so we are not taking the job, that's okay. And now we have a comparison to the EX with a value from the stack. And this is probably the value which was queried here using this function. So if let's see, if we don't jump, then we will just close the key and return. So let's skip that. Let's make the jump as it is, and let's hit F8. And now we are in this function, so let's enter F7, and we see that there is another query for another value from the registry key. So let's see, set breakpoint here as well to see what value is it. Third parameter points to require signed AppInit DLL. Okay, DLLs. Okay, so that's another value which is queried from the registry. So we have two load AppInit DLLs and require signed AppInit DLLs key values. Let's move forward. So let's go forward, and we land here, and we see that there's another rec get value function call here, and R8 actually holds the pointer to a string AppInit DLLs. Okay, so let's open up registry editor to see what is actually being queried. So we go to software, Microsoft, Windows NT, current version, and Windows, and we see some of these values are stored here. So we see AppInit DLLs, right? We see load AppInit DLLs is set to 0, and the require signed AppInit DLLs is not present. Okay, so what this all means? Every application or every process which is utilizing user32.dll is actually calling this load AppInit DLLs function from kernel 32, and these values from the registry are checked. If load AppInit DLLs is set to 1 and AppInit DLLs value points to some kind of DLL, then kernel 32 will load this library to the process. Okay, and this all happens before the entry point is hit. All right, so this is another mechanism you can use to load your DLL globally to almost every process on the machine, and to take control of the process before the entry point of the process is being executed. Okay, so next we will go through the code and to see how it works.